Hey everyone, welcome to the Helix Loop. The last conversation we're going to have for this year, and then we're going to start 2026 with a bang. So, one of the things that I've been doing this year is really focusing on how do I help organizations to think through AI. And the first thing that we start off right like is what can AI do? Where can we start with AI? What is the use case we can use? What is the technology layer that we can employ? And then you slowly realize that AI can do a lot of things. I mean, if you look at the last conversation we've had and the last Helix Loop, we talked about how AI's capability has increased tremendously in the last year, right? So what was not possible is imminently possible, and if not, like definitely possible next year. So what's happened is we moved from this idea of can AI do it to should AI do it, and more importantly, can I do it as an organization? So I've been working with big companies and small companies, right? Like government, large enterprise, not-for-profits, local councils, private businesses, technology companies, a whole bunch of organizations, right? And the big learning I've got is that AI adoption is actually connected to organizational absorption. Right? So it's like, can your organization absorb the challenge of working with AI compared to where the technology is going? Because it's not about whether AI can do it. AI can do a lot of things, but can we do it? Can we have the organizational maturity to actually explore this and make it happen? So I want to share with you like a couple of slides, couple of ideas that I've been working with. The first one is this, right? Looks like it's not changed. Okay, it's not working. That's not really helpful. Let me go back. So the first thing that I've been working with is this idea that how do you actually kind of create this value when your organization can't take it? So the technology curve will continue to go up. Does your organizational maturity go up? That's kind of the first challenge to work with. So that's what I'm working on. And what I've learned working with a whole range of organizations is that the organizational absorption capability is where we have to focus on, because the challenge then becomes is that organizations don't change, people's capabilities don't change, processes ossify, and what you're kind of really stuck with is this challenge of kind of integrating AI into your work. So that's number one. The second thing, we'll have a go again and see if it works. The second thing is this idea that how does organizations actually work with the maturity curve, right? Can they actually work with a maturity curve that really enables them to focus on making this change happen? So for the maturity curve to really work, right, we have to actually change how we do these things. So the way to explore that is to think about this maturity curve in 3 layers. All right. The first layer is this idea of assist. So AI basically becomes like a simple way we can work with and assist us, right? So for example, Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, you're chatting with it, it's giving you some things, you can do a few things, you can't do a few things, you can do text now, you can do audio, you can do video, you can do images, but your staff is in full control of it and you're starting to work with it. The next level is more of a collaborative partnership, right? It's Augment. Now here you're kind of not just asking for it. The AI can actually start helping you make decisions, can be part of your workflow, and possibly there's some agents that we're using that kind of do parts of the work that you're doing. And so it becomes like an adaptive workflow. And then the next layer up is actually where you're starting to go towards semi-autonomous and autonomous optimization and actions, right? This is, if you've ever seen the Tesla has like 2 modes, right? The first mode is like is assisted driving, right? Where you kind of put it on kind of a better cruise mode. You still have to hold the steering, but it's mostly doing everything else on its own. It's matching the speed, it's managing how it kind of follows the lane, it's looking for what else is happening. And then there's a full self-driving mode where it just runs on its own and then you just stop when required. So assist, augment, adapt kind of becomes these three layers, right? And this is a very important thing. I found that most executives really work with this well. And the reason they work with this well and they like it is because what they are seeing here is a way to manage risk. Because the technology can do all of these things, but do you want a full self-driving on the roads? Not yet, right? You want to understand data, you want to understand risk, you want to understand what organizations are doing, what they're not doing. So really that's kind of the layering and thinking. So as you start to look at your AI adoption, you have to start to look and say, where am I as an organization? Where is my data? Where is my technical capability? Where is my human AI collaboration, learning and instinct? I'm working with a large manufacturer right now, and we're starting with some of the basics, right? Like, how do you get the entire top executives and then the top 30, 40 people in the organization working with AI? How do they learn to build new skills? How do they kind of flex that muscle? How do they build that into their workflow? And without that human AI collaboration, you can't kind of go up, even if the AI can do it. And then you need to understand governance. You need to understand how to make choices about when to stop, when not to stop. So it's actually a maturity journey that we have to all take as humans, as organizational capabilities before the technical comes. So that's what this capability maturity navigator does. It really provides a way, an angle, a view into how you can do this. The other way to kind of look at the same thing is basically say, hey, how do I work on this and ensure that I understand the balance? Because you don't want the entire organizations to stop. So for example, parts of your organization could be more mature, right? So they could be like more at augment and maybe even going towards adapt. Some are more at assist, and that's totally fine. You need to see your entire organization as a portfolio, as in a constellation of projects, right? Rather than one monolith. And that is not going to work because there's a lot of complications, and some jobs are more suitable for AI than other jobs. So what you really want is to kind of let the maturity show up, let the maturity work with you, and kind of make that happen. So my main kind of point of this exercise for today is, right, AI technology will continue to grow. It's not going to stop, right? What we really need to do is to make sure that we build organizational maturity. That's what this whole conversation is about. So as you kind of slow down at the end of this year, take a break, start thinking, how do we do maturity better next year, right? How do we build human capability? How do we build our executive maturity? How do we have loops that we continuously learn and come back and build those adaptive learning processes into the system? And how do you kind of go up the ladder of assist, augment, adapt? And so on that note, I really wish you all a great festive season and a happy new year. We're signing off for this year, but we're going to be really focused on shading more of this strategic way of working with AI. There's a lot of technological conversations happening, but my real focus is strategy and organizational change. So we'll continue to focus on that. We're going to share a lot more insightful frameworks for next year. We're going to work on how we kind of create value for organizations and share some live examples as we go through. So have a good time, take a break, and be safe.